Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Here, another episode of Chasin Birdies. It's me, Ryan, and my man, JP.
I am so excited for today. And I know that I'm excited for every episode, and it's a special episode. But today is a very, very special episode. We have a special lady on the podcast today. 94 professional wins, 10 majors, 3 U.S. Opens.
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, considering you and I, we just won one member guest.
And we were partying, bud.
And we thought it was like the Masters. We thought we just hit a grand slam.
Which we haven't even told anybody about.
No.
We really have not put it out there to let people know.
So let's catch people up a little bit. All right. So right now we're both in Vail, Colorado right now.
Training. It's training for the off season.
High altitude training right now. I'm getting some good endurance training in for the golf swing. He's getting some good hiking in to, better himself. Probably your wife will appreciate that. But the endurance aspect of it's been great for you. And
it's been great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, today was spectacular.
Yeah, we had a good day.
Let's talk about the Pikewood National Member-Guest. That we overcame and we won the whole member-guest. And let's get this out there. Ryan is a scratch. I'm a scratch. And it's not easy for 2 scratches to win
not at all.
A member-guest. You can win your flight.
Right.
But to win the whole member-guest?
Yes. Tough, dude. And look, we've been doing it now for 5-6 years together. We haven't even gone close.
I mean, bud, it was a weight lifted off my chest.
Yeah, done. I mean,
so long story short, we win our flight. We go into a shootout. There is 8 twosomes, so 16 players playing in one group.
Yeah, it's like Vietnam.
The number 10 was everyone got a shot. The last 2 groups got 2 shots. Best ball, net.
Yeah.
Brian made a 3 for 2.
Correct.
And we had a 1-shot lead going into 17. 17, par 5. If you haven't played Pikewood, you're not going to understand what we're talking about. And I really don't want to divulge into the secrets of Pikewood. So it's a par 5. That's all you have to know. Over water. Ryan pulls it a little left into the fescue. I hit one down the right side in the fairway. I go for it in 2. Middle of the green, 20 feet.
Yeah, it was a great shot.
It trickles rolls through into the rough, and Ryan punches out, pitches up to about 20 feet. The team that we're leading by 1 makes a 7.
Yeah.
And I chunked it out of the rough and made 5. Ryan has a 25-footer, would you say?
Yeah, it's about 20 foot up the hill. Little bend to right.
Makes a bomb.
Yeah, I made it.
So we're off to a roaring start of a 3 for 2 and then a 4. So we're 3 under for 2.
Correct.
And we're teeing off on 18. We got a 2-shot lead. All right. First 2 groups don't get shots. That would be us. Not a big deal. And the last couple groups all get shots. So the group that we're leading on 2 shots is getting a shot. I hit driver down the left-hand side fairway. Ryan pulls it slightly into the fescue.
Well, it wasn't a hazard.
It was a hazard.
Yeah, but it was a fescue hazard.
But nerves get the best of all of us. But it's all right.
I wasn't nervous. I just, I just hit a bad drive. It wasn't even a bad drive. If it was a wider fairway, it would have been great. But yeah, it went in.
20-yard wide fairways. So the team that we're leading by 2, he hits one up there to probably about 15 feet.
Correct.
So in my mind, he makes 3, 4, 2, and now all of a sudden we make par and we're tied.
Correct. That's a good thought.
Bash is trying to decide, do I go for it? Just go for it. All right.
All right, but let me just tell you all this. All right, think about this. The ball's above my feet. I got a great lie, but I also am on like a severe slope. So I kept thinking in my head, my partner's got 90 yards. And, if there's ever a weak spot in his game, which is rare, it's like, I don't know if he's going to fucking blade it or if he's going to just chunk it. So I'm thinking in my head, like, maybe I should just put it in the fairway.
Every bad thought went in my mind on that hole.
So anyways, I go for it, guys. Long story short, I'm like, you know what? I got a $110, decent lie, terrible footing. I swing at it, make contact.
He goes missing.
And I lose my foot, my grip. I slide down the hill, roll down. No one even was, I like put my hand up, let everybody know I'm all right. And needless to say, the result of the shot was awful. So Pep had all the pressure in the world coming down 18. And
so Bo, our caddy, which he's the man. He's the best. Highly recommend him. In my mind, I'm saying 80 yards. Just have 80 yards. That's all I need. That swing. That's it.
That was it.
And he's trying to talk me through it, and I just wanted to hit it. And I hit it, and I hit a pretty good shot.
You hit a great shot.
Hit it to probably, 12 feet behind the hole?
Yeah.
Downhill slider, left to right. Greens were rolling 14 at Pikewood for the member-guest. Incredible job.
Oh, they did a hell of a job.
So, of course, like I laid out to you guys, he made 3 for 2, the other team. So now, all of a sudden, we're tied. And I said left edge.
Yeah.
And I hit it, and I made it.
And you made it.
And so we won by one shot, and the relief of winning a member guest was incredible.
It's like brain freeze. And then, whenever brain freeze goes away, it's like the best feeling in the world. And that was like the best feeling. Like, God,
Best.
we just did dude.
We just freaking won.
Yeah.
So, long story short, that's probably half of the 10 majors. Well, half of one of the 10 majors that Annika has won. Annika Sorenstam, that is, for you guys. That's who we have on today. We are so excited to bring to you Annika Sorenstam. It was an incredible interview. We really just talked about golf, and she's a special, special lady. Like I said, 10 majors.
Yeah. And
It's incredible.
The work ethic, behind her is second
to be number one in the world at what you do. I mean, she tells stories about practicing with Tiger Woods, and she shot 59. She made 8 birdies in a row.
Yes.
The day that she shot 59 with her sister in the group.
Solid.
And she told her caddy she needs to make a par so that she can feel comfortable again.
Yeah.
And she made par on 9 and then kept it rolling.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to keep it rolling right into the interview with Annika Sorenstam, World Golf Hall of Famer. Enjoy it. And please tell your friends, subscribe, like, listen, and let's just keep it rolling, guys.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling. Let's get right to the interview. Hope you all enjoy it. As you all know by now, Chasin Birdies is proud to be partners with Holderness and Bourne. Check them out online at hbgolf.com. Holderness and Bourne makes fabulous pieces that help you look good on the course, even if your game is not up to par. Check out their new arrivals now for this golf season. Also, head on over to chasinbirdies.com to get some custom Chasin Birdie gear from Holderness and Bourne. We'll continue to drop these pieces through every season. That's chasinbirdies.com and Holderness and Bourne at hbgolf.com. Thanks for joining us today on another episode of Chasin Birdies. Ryan Bashauer here with my co-host, Jonathan. How are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. We are very excited about today's guest. Many, many accolades behind this lady. One of the most, if not the most, well-known female golfer of all time, Annika Sorenstam. Annika, how are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Great to be with you.
So let's just get right back into this interview here. I know Jonathan and you probably have a mutual friend that you might not even know about out the gate.
Yeah. So, Annika, I have to say that Peggy Kirkbell holds a special place in my heart. She taught me the game of golf, and I know that she was very close with you as well.
Well, that's nice. Nice to hear. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, she was a special woman. I know one of the founders of the LPGA Tour, and she absolutely adored you. And I do have to tell a quick story, a Pine Needle story out of the gate. We have a house on the third tee box of Pine Needles, a par 3, and I'm getting ready for the state high school tournament my freshman year, and I'm eating breakfast, and I look out there, and there you are having a practice round. So I hurried up and ran out there and got a photo with you, like a super fan. But it was about 2 weeks before you were going to be there for the Women's Open, and yeah, I mean, there's so many great memories for you at Pine Needles. In 1996, you won the U.S. Open. What did that win do for your career?
Well, it certainly kickstarted my career, no doubt about it. I mean, I love that part of the country, beautiful golf courses and just the history with it, and love the golf course. You know, I had come in there and had a lot of confidence from the previous years, but had my parents there, I had everybody there, and it was just one of those tournaments where I felt like I was in such a zone. I was like totally in the zone. Everything was going my way, and you know, kind of those dream rounds or dream weeks that you think of. So I have a lot of fun memories for sure.
So speaking of the zone, it seems like you've been in the zone a lot. And let's talk about March 16th, 2001, was it? And you were in the zone that day, shooting 59.
Yes, I was. You know, it's funny, you know, growing up in Sweden in the Swedish national team, I always thought about shooting 54, you know, 18 under par, meaning birding every hole. And, you know, people look at me and I said, you know, I think in my mind it's possible because if I play one golf course over and over again, I would birdie every hole at some point. So why can't I do it in one round? So I'll never forget that day, just thinking that, you know, fairways and greens and putts. And it was just one of those days. I mean, I really didn't have a special warm up, but I got off to a good start. I birdied the first. As a matter of fact, I birdied quite a few there. I birdied actually the first 4. And I remember turning to my caddy saying, hey, how many birdies in a row have you seen? And he said 4. And I said, well, I've done 6 before, so I know. And then so I ended up making 8 birdies in a row. So I was 8 under after 8. So you can imagine I was a little nervous going into the 9th hole. But, you know, I turned to my caddy then and said, I'd like to just make a par. And he said, okay. And then we made the turn and I got new energy and new boost of confidence, I guess. I said, I'm ready for more birdies. So I made another 4. So, yeah, it's one of those rounds I just, you know, I look back and it just felt so easy. You know, I didn't think about taking putts or anything. And so I ended up making 13 birdies and no bogeys and the rest pars.
And that's the thing, too. I watched a short clip the other day of you shooting 59. I remember it. I mean, again, at that time I was 15 years old, but I remember the 59. What I did not realize was that your sister Charlotta was in your group playing with you.
I know. Isn't that funny? If you think of all the people you can play with, you know, out of the 144 that tee it up every year. So, I mean, every week. So, yeah, it was nice. And then I play with Meg Mallon, who's, you know, has a Phoenix connection. So it was really a good pairing. And you can imagine that in the beginning we chatted a little bit. And then towards the end, I don't think anybody said anything. We were just like, okay, what's happening? Let's just focus on this.
Well, even Charlotta said, I think after you made 4 birdies in a row, her caddy looked at her and said, is today the day? And she said, yes.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And I mean, to shoot 59 for fun is a feat, let alone an LPGA event. Again, like you said, you made 8 birdies in a row and you just had to make a par to get back to feeling normal again.
Yeah, no. I've looked back at this round so many times and said, you know, why did it happen? And, you know, what are the things that I did well that I should repeat? And it's just, you know, I've had some other good rounds, but nothing like that. It was just, of course, I mean, I hit 18 greens, which helps a lot.
Yeah, that's...
you know, you have a lot of birdie opportunities. And I actually hit the 17th hole of mine. I hit that in 2. So I had an eagle putt. So, but yeah, it was just really cool.
So when you look back on your career, you know, and you seem like one of the most humble individuals out there, you have to feel some sense of accomplishment. I mean, you've You have 94 professional wins, 72 on the LPGA Tour, 10 majors, 8 Solheim Cups. I mean, you have to feel like, your career is one that deserves to be. I mean, you're in the World Golf Hall of Fame at the age of 33. Did you expect to get to that level or receive those accolades at such a young age in your career? Or as you started to kind of grow and mature into the game, is that when you realize that, hey, you know what, I have something special here relative to my competitors?
Well, first of all, thank you. I don't really know when it hits you or if it ever hits you, because, when you talk about yourself, it's always a little different. But I joined the tour. I really didn't know if I can win a single golf tournament. And then I won, the U.S. Open in 95. And then I thought, well, maybe I made the right decision to turn professional. But I knew at that time that I hadn't reached my full potential. So that, that was encouraging, feeling I can still win. And because I was young, I was, 24 then. So, I think just kind of the way it turned out is, every year I would set up goals and I would push myself and say, I can do this, I want to do that. And I figured if I focus more on my skills and my game rather than, we all know you can't control results or winning, because if we could control that, we would do all the time, because you don't know what other people are doing. But you can always focus on your game, hitting it further, hitting it, more solid or more consistent, more greens, less putts and all those. So I focused a lot on my game and just trying to improve as a player. And then, the accolades came after that. And so I feel very lucky, but that was my focus. It was more on what I got to do rather than just what's coming. Yeah.
In your practice regimen, were you more of a, play to get better type player, or were you more, okay, I'm at the range for 8 hours a day working on different fundamentals and different types of shots?
It was a little bit, I love to practice, and so I spent a lot of time, just getting better, having a purpose. I think it's really important to have a purpose with your practice, and the way I like to talk about it is one thing is playing golf and one thing is practicing golf. When I practice golf, it was, different purpose and intentions than when I'm playing golf. And so I think that, keeping the distinction there is important. But then, when you look at overall season, you have practice sessions and tournament sessions and obviously the rest sessions when you need to rest. So, but, I'd be out there on the range mostly working on repeating my swing. I would throw in some fun little exercises. Okay, let's draw it, let's hook it, let's do all this kind of thing. But it was mostly, I just wanted to, if I hit one good shot, I will always tell myself, can I hit 2 in a row? Can I hit 3 in a row? And then just keep going. And so that was kind of, some people might find that very boring, but I was, repetition was always my thing. I play with and practice with a lot of guys, especially. They love let's hit this huge hook and this high. And, they're maybe experimenting and maybe they're just trying different things. That would be more like, okay, well, I got to figure out the basics first before I jump into, advanced stuff.
So in 2003, you played at Colonial on a PGA Tour event. How did that change the landscape for the LPGA Tour? Do you think this will segue into any other females playing in more men's events?
We've had a few women play. Michelle Weave played, and then Brittany Lincecum played in one. And before me, before I played, it was, Babe Saharis. That was like, 48 years before that.
1945
prior. So
or something.
Yeah, so it wasn't really something that we saw on a regular basis. I think, what I really like is I think we can all learn from each other. Growing up in Sweden, there were not that many girls playing golf. It was just actually with my sister and the two of us. And then we probably had 10 boys. So, and we loved it. They tested us, they challenged us. If we didn't keep up, they didn't want anything to do with us. But so we had to. So that was kind of my upbringing. So when I turned professional living in Orlando, I practiced with a lot of the guys, a lot of the pros. Tiger lived around the corner, and I practiced with him, several times. And it was just very good. He pushed me, he challenged me, but he would ask questions about my game. He obviously, he saw that I was doing well, and he's like, well, so I think we can learn from each other. I think that's what I'm trying to say is even in competition. And I think if you're a golf fan, I don't think that you're just only LPGA or you're not only PGA Tour fan. I think
you're a professional golfer.
You probably want to just love to watch, golf.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can learn from that. We all know that as far as competition goes, it's very, it's hard for women to keep up as far as distance, as far as just putting the spin on the ball, hitting out of the rough, the strength, and it's a big deal. But I think that just learning from each other. I mean, there's not that many sports that you can really do that. So I don't really think we're going to see a lot more playing against, but I would love to see more playing together. Just because I think, we are an entertainment, and I think people would love to see that. And I personally enjoy playing, whether it's, we played skins game or we played different events that have been out there in the past. And, I'm hosting a tournament this summer with Henrik Stenson in Sweden called the Scandinavian Mix, where we're actually trying a new concept where we have, 72 men and 72 women playing same course, one trophy, one purse. But the course is set up different, so they have, if you want to call it the men's tees, and we have, the women's tees. Hopefully we can set it up so that, it becomes an equal competition. And I think that'd be fun. I mean, I look forward to it. And I think from an entertainment standpoint, it could be really fun.
Yeah. And I mean, I think too, you were just named the president of the International Golf Federation, and that kind of segues into what I'm going to say. I think that would be so cool in Olympic golf if you had a male and a female, from Sweden, best ball or alternate shot in the Olympic Games.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun to watch.
It would be so cool to see that and see how the games can mold together, because history speaking, the women's short games are really, really good. And the men are good, but the women, that's where I feel like the women can really separate themselves against men.
So, I mean, it's fun. I think, Olympics is a great opportunity. I don't know if it'd be necessarily possible to do a mixed one because of, all the logistics. But I know that, from a team standpoint, you look at golf and you look at some of the highlights, Ryder Cup comes to mind, for the women, Soham Cup comes to mind. It's an individual sport, but when you get together and play as a team or just partners, whether it's a World Cup or, International Crown as they have it on the LPGA, it just makes it fun. And it's a different way to play the game of golf. And we do know in college golf is about teams, you have individuals, but it's also team. And so I think there's so many possibilities to, expand this wonderful sport.
Well, that's the cool thing too about the Solheim Cup is after it's all done, you guys still talk to each other. Ryan and I, we're member guest partners. We don't talk to each other after Saturday, so that's kind of the difference there.
When you miss putts like you do, it's easy. So, in your opinion, Annika, what needs to happen for there to be more, I guess, spotlight, or maybe not spotlight is the correct word, but in terms of the women's golf LPGA to, because I know there's been talk over the years about creating more of an environment for the women to get more exposure in that regard. Do you think there's anything that, in your opinion, could help advance the popularity of the game for women?
Well, I think, first of all, women's golf is doing really, really well. And, there's a lot of interest. But I think, to grow from here and get more exposure, as you mentioned, it's being on TV, it's being seen, it's being heard, it's being, just being relevant consistently. But I also understand how it works with, demand and, TV rights and how all of those things work. But I think, if we had a crystal ball and if there was something we can do, I'd love to see the women, consistently on TV, on just like the men.
Yep.
The men is on in the afternoon on, Thursday, Friday, and then in the afternoons on Saturday, Sunday. We need more consistency, and it needs to be live.
Yeah.
This tape, tape delay is, I don't find that exciting because we all have access to the information on the phone. And then when you already know the results, I don't find it so exciting. So I think, we got to somehow get it more like that on national TV. So something, obviously, they're in a search for a new commissioner. I think that to me would be a priority. How do we do that? Because the women, they do produce as far as just, they're great performers, great ambassadors of the game. They're willing to share the time and give back. And I think so they have all those components that's needed. It's just, continue to find that spot and so people can see it more. And then you get to know players and then you're like, oh, I want to follow that. It's so random right now. Yeah. I
know I'm a member down at the Greenbrier Sporting Club, and Jerry West, obviously. And so I know Michelle's down there sometimes honing in her game. But, Yeah, it's definitely something that I feel in terms of women's golf. If you can get more live coverage and be up to date on the tournaments, it would be a lot more exciting to watch. And you personally, I know you took approximately 13 years off from competitive golf, and you just recently played in your first event in 13 years. What was your prep like? Did you feel the nerves, or was it like riding a bike to get back into tournament mode? Because you can't really emulate tournament scenarios in terms of practicing. So did you feel the nerves again, or how was that?
Well, you're right. You can't really practice that type of environment. I can go out there and pretend that, this is the U.S. Open, but it's a little difficult. And, I'm a total different, I would say person in a different chapter of my life now than I was. And, I have other priorities. I wear a lot of different hats. So competitive golf is, not my biggest and not my most important hat. So, first of all, I just started to practice a little bit more. And I must say that COVID kind of helped with that when, we were kind of strapped in and limited to what to do and where to go. So my son and I, actually our family, will go out, and my son, he's 10 now, but he's really into golf, and I would spend more time outside with him. And then I said, well, while I'm watching him, I might as well hit some. And so I was hitting, and then the more I hit, I started to hit a little better, and I started to get a little more interested, and I started to work on something, and I saw the results. I'm like, well, so he's becoming my practice partner. And then I just turned 50 in October, and I said, there are a few tournaments for older ladies, so maybe I should do that. And, but, then I looked at my game. I said, you know what, I'm very rusty. I have really no competition experience the last 13 years. So, yeah, they host an LPGA tournament just around the corner. Actually, I live on the 16th hole, so I can almost roll out of bed and get to the tee. And I said I would love to play here. So, and I was nervous, no doubt. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, when I played at my peak, I knew what to expect. I mean, I was in charge, I was in control. And here I would say not the same. In the morning you make lunch boxes for the kids, and then you go warm up, and all of a sudden you're like a professional golfer and trying to do all those things. So yeah, I was a little rusty. I was nervous. I wasn't as sharp as I needed to be, and which is understandable. But it was fun to be out there. I had my husband on the bag, and we shared it together, and the kids came out and watched. And it was just, you haven't really seen me play, as a
That's
competitor.
awesome.
They know I did that, but not like in, not
right
there. So they saw me, playing with these young players that I can probably be their mother to also. So it was interesting. It was a fun thing. And, it's amazing how, I love the competition, and obviously, but it's fun to be part of. And so, yeah, I look back fondly. It was a great experience, and I got to try and play a little bit more here and there, not necessarily LPGA tournaments, but somewhere where you stand on the tee and you can feel those, a little bit of nerves, like, okay, I've got to focus a little bit and not just go out there with casual golf.
Right. And that's the thing that, like you said, you're now a mother and you're a wife. And when you were number one in the world, you didn't necessarily have a family you could just focus on golf. And now, again, Mike, your husband, is on your bag. It's so cool to see it full circle, because golf is truly a family sport. And now, like you said, your children are coming out to watch their mother play golf, who was number one in the world for many, many years, and quite possibly the greatest women's golfer ever. So it's really cool to see and be able to share that moment with your family.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Noah, we'll cherish that weekend and just being out here. And that's what really life is about. I think when you get a little older, you kind of get a little more sentimental like that, and you appreciate things a little differently when, you're starting out and you think, the whole world knows, it lies on this particular path. That's all that matters at that age. And then you grow up, as you think, what, maybe in the end of the day, that's not that important, but it's the memories. And we made some amazing memories. So that's really cool.
Yep. You can take them with you for the rest of your life. That's the beauty of golf.
Yeah.
Your Annika Foundation, do you want to touch briefly on that, a little bit about the initiative behind that, Annika? Because I know you're out there doing good things.
Thank you. I know I'm very passionate about that. And actually, thanks for bringing that up. When I stepped away in 2008, we had already started the Annika Foundation, but just by 1 year. And it was a way for me to say thanks. It was a way for me to, get back to the next generation and inspire young girls to fulfill their dreams. Kind of like my life has been a dream. So it's playing opportunities. We started with a tournament in the U.S., global event. Girls are 12 to 18, so just before college. Really a crucial age when it comes to girls' sports. And we had 78 players, and it was really, it was great. We had 16 different countries represented. And when we left that, after the tournament, we had many of the international federations come up and said, you should do this, globally. So that's how it started. And fast forward 13 years now, we actually have 7 global tournaments where we do the same type of concept, in New Zealand, Argentina, China, and then Europe. And then we host a college tournament. So we have different initiatives that we call daily initiatives or grassroots initiatives, meaning, we start at the kind of the beginning stages in the local areas, and it's called Share My Passion. Share My Passion days are, 3 hours. These girls are 6 to 12. So they're just beginning introductions to the game. They write a letter why they want to be part of it. But, overall, we look at our initiatives. We've had, every year we have 600 girls go through our programs, and over 60 has now play on the LPGA. So I follow them, and that's what was so neat when I played here. I played with, many of the ones that we host golf tournaments for. So it's funny. I'll be mentoring them, and then I'll be thinking, you know what? I got to focus on my game. I'm playing in a tournament, so I'm focusing on how you get ready. So it was kind of neat. But yeah, I was super proud of the foundation, and obviously it takes great partners, and we have that in MasterCard with Rolex and Callaway and RNA to mention a few and ahead. And without them, we couldn't really do it. But, they all see the benefits of helping young girls, the benefit of being global and being there consistently. So we're super proud. And, obviously we hope that the COVID restrictions will ease up a little bit so we can get back on track and continue. Doing it virtually is not as effective. But we're keeping in touch with these young players and, inspire them hopefully from afar.
Well, that's great. And for listeners out there, check the foundation out online. It's www.AnnikaFoundation.org. You can read all about it. You can donate. It's a great cause. Obviously, you just heard about it. And I think that's wonderful, Annika. We're going to segue to our last segment here of the show. I know your time's valuable and probably have a lot more things to do right now on this beautiful Thursday of the Masters. We're going to ask you a couple questions. It's called our tap-in segment of our show. It's the last part of our show, and Jonathan's just going to rattle off 3 questions for you.
All right, Annika, we'll make it easy for you. Then you can get back on the golf course. Mm-hmm. Bermuda or bent greens?
Bent.
Okay.
I'd agree.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that too. All right, your favorite major of the year. I know we're watching a major right now, but what's your favorite major to watch?
To watch, I love the Masters, but I love playing in the U.S. Open. I thought that was a cool thing. Mm-hmm.
All right. Pickled herring or fried herring?
Oh, pickled.
Oh, yeah.
It's like pickled. Yeah.
All right. And the last question is, after you would win, what would your drink of choice be?
When I played, I really didn't drink much. So,
okay.
But now I would certainly say a glass of wine.
A little glass of red wine. Well, yeah. I told Mike this. Next time you guys are in the Pittsburgh area, we'll have to have you to a Steeler game or a Penguin game, and we'll grab that glass of red wine with you guys. Sounds
great. I appreciate it very much.
Annika, thank you so much for taking time from your day to speak with us.
Yep. Thank you, Annika.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Guys, that was awesome. Listen to Annika talk about golf.
What a good woman. What good work ethic and what good stories. And, and that's what we're all trying to do out there on the golf course. We're all trying to chase birdies. And she's done it, man. She's done it.
And like I said, I have a daughter. I have friends that have daughters. We're all trying to be able to provide opportunities for our daughters in life and in sports. And that's what she's doing with her foundation, is providing opportunity for the females. Mm-hmm. And so it's really fun to watch. Real quick, I want to thank our sponsor, Nemacolin. Go check them out on nemacolin.com. Truly a special place for Ryan and myself. 5-star resort in Farmington, Pennsylvania. 2 Pete Dye golf courses, and a little bit of everything else for you to do, even if you want to bring your family there. I know Ryan likes to do a little paintball by himself, and what, bud? And you like to go feed the lions.
Oh, dude, the zoo. It's crazy.
It's
awesome
a spectacular place. But thank you so much to them. They've supported us from day one. And go check them out at nemacolin.com and tell them that the Chasin Birdie Boys sent you over whenever you place your reservation, because it is a truly special place to take your family and to play 36 holes of golf. Also, what I wanted to bring to the forefront here a little bit is that there was a tragedy in the golf world. Gene Siller was tragically murdered on the golf course this week, which is crazy to think about. It is a safe haven for a lot of us to get away. And so if you can, please go to his GoFundMe page. Give the family $5 to $10, whatever it may be, whatever you can afford. I know his 2 boys and his wife would truly appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm at a loss for words because it happened on the golf course. But please, his family needs it right now. And
yeah, it's sad, man. God rest his soul, you know. But
and I couldn't imagine it happening to some other people out there. And
no,
so please go to GoFundMe and look up Gene Siller and donate to him. We're thinking about him and his family. So
no, I know, tragedy. And moving on from that point, our next episode, we have a world-renowned psychologist in the sports realm, Dr. Bob Rotella. Maybe he's not even a psychologist. Maybe he's a psychiatrist.
He
I don't
could
know.
be both. He's a sports psychologist is what he calls himself. He works with one of the more famous basketball players in the world right now. I know that he's won 33 majors as a golf psychologist.
Yep.
He's worked with baseball, basketball, lacrosse. He's written numerous books. Golf is Not a Game of Perfect, which is the #1 seller in Ireland out of all titles. So it's a really cool talk with Dr. Bob.
Well, Mo Norman said it. It's Mo Norman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bobby Jones, Jack Nicklaus played with the shortest club, and that was 6 inches, and that is between the ears.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what golf is. So the interview with Dr. Bob is incredible, and obviously we appreciate the listeners and listening in to that episode here in another 2 weeks.
Please make sure that you go at Chasin_Birdies, like us on Facebook, and go to our website, chasinbirdies.Co. There is some swag on there for you all to purchase. We really appreciate the support.
Yeah, and we'll be rolling.
I know Ryan really appreciates it. So,
yeah, well, we both appreciate it, and we'll be rolling some new stuff out as time goes on. But first and foremost, thanks to all the listeners. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Chasin Birdies. And we want to give a shout out to Simpler Media for getting this thing done always. So thank you guys, and thank you all for listening, and go chase those birdies. Have a good day.
Go chase them.